Hi everyone, and welcome to the office, which today is the bedroom. I've had a slight problem with the boot. You can see it in the background drying out on the window ledge. It really does make your foot sweaty, so we've had to send for another inner, so you can see the one that's drying on the radiator. So we've been able to wash that now because we've got a spare that's come through the post. But obviously I've had to wait for Johnny to go and collect that. So obviously later on I'll be able to put the boot on and go back downstairs. But for now I just thought this is a great space to catalogue all my seeds. So what I plan to do is I'm going to take some photographs of all the seeds and I'll put them up as stills later. I've got a tremendous amount. I'd placed an order with our gardening association, which we've collected, but prior to that my daughter bought me 2 magazines, each of which had 10 free packets of seeds. So obviously 20 there, and I wouldn't like to begin to say how many were on the list, which you might just be able to make out here. There's 2 pages like that from the Gardening Association. Anyway, the upshot of it is that I'm really oversubscribed with seeds. So what I plan to do is put up the stills, and if you have a close look at what I've got, if you find there's anything of interest to you where you'd just like a couple or half a dozen so of something specific putting in the post to you, I'm happy to do that, because obviously, I mean, I know they'll last a while, but I do have some quite unusual things here. I'm going to try growing some edamame beans, so that's one thing you might be interested in. But anyway, have a good look and then come back to me on the comments if you think that there's anything that's taken your interest. Right, moving on, just a couple of things I'd like to add. First of all, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Richard and Paul, who very kindly included me in the Cheeky Prince Challenge, which I'm really looking forward to entering and seeing what we all produce sort of 8 months down the line. So obviously the seeds were collected by Richard and Paul and dried out, and then they asked if anybody would like to have a go at growing them themselves. I mean, the Cheeky Prince is actually a cross-pollination with the Crown Prince squash. So I think they're hoping that we might all produce something a little different. So really looking forward to later on in the year when we'll be able to see the results of that challenge. And thank you once again to Richard and Paul for kindly sending the seeds to me. The other person I'd like to thank is Kelly of Kelly's Kitchen Garden, who sent me some calendula seeds which she harvested from a plant near one of her daughter's nurseries. So thanks, Kel. They'll be going into the plot as well. Right, something else I've got to add. My sister this week arrived from Crete, and of course, what would you bring as a present for your sister who's broken her foot other than a pile of seeds? So I'm going to go through these with you because some of them are really quite interesting. First of all, we have some, what she tells me are heritage tomatoes. I think she said the symbol in the corner relates to the fact that they are heritage. So these are called Ace 55. Now there are 2 packets which are the same, and then a 3rd packet of these by a slightly different seed company. So I'm going to look forward to growing some genuine Greek tomatoes. Oh, but I do have to tell you something funny. So my sister went to her local, not garden centre, but a shop that sells equipment for gardeners. And she went in and she asked if they had any seeds, and if so, which ones would grow in England. And the Greek guy turned round to her and said, "No, nothing grows in England." So I'd like to prove him wrong. My sister's looking forward to me taking some photographs later in the year, and she can go in and show him just what the English can do with some Greek seeds. Right, we also have some watermelon. So I don't know whether they're going to grow in this country, but certainly I'm going to have a go. So if anybody is interested in coming along with me on that journey, I'd happily put some seeds in the post to you. Right, the next thing I have is my very favourite fennel. Not really sure what variety it is, but there's the Greek flag in the bottom, so it's a genuine Greek fennel. Here we have some Greek basil. Actually, I normally buy this from one of our northern supermarket brands, and I actually like it because the leaves are so much smaller than normal basil. So I'm really excited to be giving these seeds and to grow this. Right, and then finally we have this. I don't know if anybody's actually familiar with this plant, but the Greek word for vegetarian is hortophagos. So if you're actually in Greece and you want to tell someone you are a vegetarian, you would actually say, "Imi hortophagos," I'm a vegetarian. Now, it literally translates to weed eater. So on lots of Greek menus, you'll find a dish called horta, which in essence is simply a bowl of steamed or boiled weeds. It's loved by the Greeks, vegetarians or not. Sometimes horta is translated on Greek menus as simply green stuff, which is quite funny. And a really simple way of serving it is drizzled with fresh lemon and olive oil. And obviously it comprises of all sorts of leaves grown by the wayside that are indigenous to Greece's countryside. So there again, I've got 3 packs of this. My sister tells me I must have eaten it on some of the times that we've actually stayed with her in Crete, and she said it's a little like spinach, and it does seem to be a little familiar to me, so it is possibly something I've eaten before, but it's certainly something I'm looking forward to growing. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to crack on with cataloguing all the seeds and tucking them away in the seed box ready for planting. Do have a close look at all the stills and come back to me in the comments if there is anything of interest. And thank you for watching. Thanks again to Richard and Paul, Kelly's Kitchen Garden, and to my sister. And I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.